So friends, 2013 has been a really big year for us car guys. There's been the new S-Class, the new Corvette, even the new CTS. Now we're gonna fast forward to 2015 and something even bigger, the Cadillac Escalade. What kind of cars do you own?
An Escalade.
So you are an expert, not just because of your abilities to detail cars, but because you were an owner.
I look at them pretty closely, yeah.
So I think this is a big deal, and let me tell you why. Before you got here, I went around this thing, and I looked at it, and I don't think it's like one big change. I look at it, and I see the sum of many changes.
Totally.
So it's you know the old saying, some of the parts?
Of course.
I think that's what we have here.
Totally.
You tell me.
I think I have kind of 3 or 4 big things that just pop out to me. When I'm looking at the car, you know, based on my experience with my other car, this is very refined. It's a little more sleek, a little more mature
Sleek.
in terms of the...
Sleek.
Imagine
Escalade as sleek.
Imagine me, you know, washing the car and looking down the side, which I've done 100,000 times. You can kind of see on the old one, there's a little more...
It's more bulbous.
Yeah, a little more bulbous. This one's kind of like, I have a place to go, nice, sleek, beautiful.
I feel now is a good time to point out something rather important. If you guys have seen any of Larry's films, you know that he is clearly the world's best detailer. So it would stand to reason that if we're looking for inside details about the 2015 Escalade, we would need to speak to someone of similar experience. So there's been some debate. What started the resurgence of Cadillac? Me personally, I think it was the CTS, the first gen CTS. But some people disagree. They say it was the first gen Escalade, which predates the first gen CTS. What do you think?
Well, you know, I think you're both right.
Okay.
The Escalade first came out in '99, all right, and we started to get some real traction then. And we got an image of what Cadillac was: bold, audacious, in your face.
Very much so.
And it did that job really well. Then the CTS came out in 2002, it's a 2003 model, and that brought the new design language out. It may actually have started with the Escalade in terms of getting some traction and volume and changing the brand image, that it's not your father's car anymore.
This was never your father's car.
Never.
I think my number 2 thing is, take a look at these wheels. Still the same size, 22s.
When you had your Escalade, did you put dubs on them or change the wheel?
No, I kept them stock, but I cleaned them like you wouldn't believe. I mean, like, it was so clean and so chrome that if anything was on there, you would see it. So it constantly was, so if I had black rims, like I do on or the darker rims on the Porsche now, it gives you a little bit of leeway because it's already dark.
But we went to 20-inch wheels are standard now. 22s are available.
Pretty snazzy.
It's well, that's what we got to do. It's Cadillac.
One other little point, this is for all the detailers watching. If you look inside here, you see that.
I didn't even notice this.
Yeah. You see that material in there?
That's awesome.
Yeah, they put that in there to keep the noise down, but from all your detailing experience, I'm sure you've run into the issue where as this kicks up, because it's got big nubs on here, you know, it's gonna kick some dirt in there. It's kind of hard to get that out. You actually have to vacuum it or brush it. Kind of a pain in the butt, but it actually makes it quiet.
So the choice is, do you want a dirty car or do you want a quiet car?
Yeah.
So quality. That can show up in a lot of areas, especially on a luxury vehicle. And there's one major area we have yet to get to.
Heads-up display for the first time.
Why don't, okay, you're the guy I should ask.
Yeah?
Why don't more cars have that? I think that should be like in every car.
It is nice. It really does work. It allows you to keep your eyes on the
It's a
road,
safety
hands
thing.
on the wheel, but it's expensive. And so down-market cars typically can't afford to put that kind of money in.
Okay, that's an honest answer.
Yeah, yeah. But again, this is a Cadillac. Micro suede treatment is accented on the instrument. 3 different woods available. We have an American walnut, we have an elm, and then we have a rosewood. Push button start for the first time in an Escalade.
Yeah. Now I've noticed this is kind of a theme you guys are doing between, it started with the XTS, continued on the new CTS. This dashboard, this kind of comes from older Cadillacs, this shape.
It does, kind of the Chevron V
Yeah.
shape. You read it throughout the car. You read it in each of these little elements accented on the center stack. You see it in the instrument panel, you see it in the cluster hood.
This is the most subtle part. What are we thinking on the lines?
Lines are amazing. I think, like I said, it's more of a
Softer, right?
soft. It's sleek. It's I have somewhere to go, and I don't need to show everybody that I'm here, kind of thing.
There are lots of edges, but again, they're more refined and they're softer.
Yeah,
So
they
you
look
look
softer.
at, you got a power dome. You got a power dome here. You got 2 other lines here. You got a 3rd line here, a 4th line here, and a 5th line here. So you got like 7 lines between the center of the hood and the edge, but it's done so nicely and sculpted so beautifully that it doesn't jump at you. Also, for the first time, we've got an aluminum hood on the Escalade, as well as an aluminum liftgate, trying to take the mass down.
Take a look at these. This is the jewel, the crown of the car, in my opinion, with the headlights. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4. That's what you told me
That's
was
the high beam.
high beams.
Can you believe that?
That's
The high beam looked like crystal. I mean, I'm thinking I would have to go to the Crystal Palace and see Jarrell to get that.
Cadillac has had a vertical light signature that you've seen now on the ATS and the all-new CTS that we just introduced. But we've got the same LED light pipe here on the new 2015 Escalade.
I drove the new CTS and I had one behind me,
Yeah.
and it had, they call it the light signature.
Oh, very
Cadillac light
very
signature.
fancy.
It's the marketing.
Yes.
But it really is. It's distinctive.
Yeah.
And for you and I growing up, I mean, I could know that that's an Audi Fox.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You know, that's a Volkswagen Passat.
Yes.
Back when there was no such thing as a Passat.
Yeah.
But it gets behind you, you're like, there's no other car that could be but an Escalade.
Totally. And the rear lights are actually spectacular too. They're like this big.
This is a Cadillac.
I believe this is the longest tail lamp in the business. In addition to it, it's got 29 LEDs in each tail lamp, so 58 here between the 2 tail lamps, 30 for the center high-mounted stop lamp, and Cadillac wreath and crest
Oh, I see
engraved
that, little
inside the
detail.
crystalline lens here. LED backup lamps. When you see this going down the road, there is no question what that vehicle is.
This is like the automotive equivalent of floor-to-ceiling windows.
And then the signature grille. I think it's just as big, if not bigger.
But it's changed.
It's changed, but it's downplayed. It's not that in your face again.
But what we did is we toned the chrome down.
Was that what? Because it looks different.
No, it is. It's what we call Galvano. It's a satin chrome, more sophisticated,
Galvano.
more refined. It adds to the total refinement.
Now,
of the
does the
vehicle.
engineer, does the executive chief engineer pick out these names? Or?
No.
So you just make it look satin, and then they come up with a
They
different
tell
name.
me what they're going to call it.
Okay.
Yeah. And like the color is what we call majestic plum.
Did you have to go to Elizabeth Regina for that one?
I feel like we're missing something here. What gets engineers really excited? What's at the heart of all this?
What we have here is our all-new 6.2 liter V8 engine. All right, 420 horsepower, 460 pound-feet of torque.
What was the previous car?
403 horsepower, so it's up 17 horsepower. It's up 43 pound-feet of torque, so that's a 10% increase in torque. And it's also more fuel efficient. We should be able to add a couple of miles per gallon on the city and the highway with this new
How
offering.
did you do that?
Through variable valve timing and active fuel management. What that means is this will run on 4 cylinders or 8 cylinders based on the need. And with the new 2015, we're able to run in 4-cylinder mode longer because there's more torque available. It doesn't have to shift to 8 cylinders as quickly because of the higher torque output.
Is that the same basic engine, you just refined it, or is that a totally new engine?
It's an all-new engine, Gen 5 V8. It's kissing cousin to the new Corvette motor.
So when did all this happen in terms of the changes? Because if you look at the CTS, I mean, you got effectively a new engine with a 420 horse twin turbo.
Right.
You got this, I mean, that's a lot of investment in a short period of time.
The company has invested heavily in bringing out all new powertrains and all new vehicles. The General's on his way back.
What was the impetus? What was the impetus for that change to put
Well,
that kind of money at the same time?
We need to get more fuel efficient, and we need to have leading product. The product is what's driving this resurgence in the market, and we knew we had to do it, and so that's exactly what we're going to do. And you're going to see more of this coming from us.
So after being at General Motors for 34 years, how does it feel to do that kind of stuff?
It feels fantastic,
Yeah.
better than ever before. We're on a roll. The General is on the way back. So
And you've seen it through everything.
I have the best of the times and the toughest times, and so.
34 years this guy's been at General Motors.
And I feel very fortunate to been here this long and to be able to lead the Cadillac product line.
So net, what are we thinking?
I think it's overall it's an amazing car. I think they've figured out what the market is looking for. You know, you're not looking for bling bling anymore, for massive size. You're looking for a little bit better fuel economy and a bit more refined feel on the interior, and that's what you get with this. And I think it's probably going to sell really well.
Larry? Thanks for joining us.
No?
I think you and I have to drive this thing together.
Yeah. Before we go, check this out. This is after my own heart. On the key it says, vehicle must be covered at all times unless authorized use. This vehicle must be plated. Stop, keep this vehicle covered. I am taking this keychain.
Okay, so here's the script. For a new MotoMan film every week, click subscribe. And to get a sneak peek of what's coming up on the show, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, MotoManTV, all one word.